Welcome to all of you, Shikshat 360, and today basically we will discuss very important topic of chapter number 16, that is organization of treasury. Clear? Organization of treasury, and from this topic basically we will get one or two questions definitely in the examination. Clear? That is introduction to treasury management, and that basically we have to discuss today, that is organization of treasury. Clear? From the first line basically the question will be start. Clear? So basically in that basically we will discuss regarding the treasury department. Treasury department. So the treasury is organized. Clear? The treasury is organized basically either as a department of the bank or as a specialized branch. Clear? So treasury basically it can either be organized as a department of the bank. Wait a minute. Clear? So the treasury is either organized as a department of the bank or as a specialized branch. Clear? Or as a specialized branch basically under direct control of the bank's head office. Clear? Under direct control of the bank's head office. Clear? So basically they can be either as a basically separate department or as a specialized branch. Clear? Basically under the direct control of the head office. Clear? So in either case, the treasury functions basically with the degree of autonomy. Clear? Basically with the degree of autonomy. Clear? So basically with its own accounting system. Clear? Basically with its own accounting system. Clear? So the branch status is preferred. Clear? Mainly the branch status is preferred as the books of account of treasury can maintain independently. Clear? Basically with its own profit and loss and GL accounts. Clear? That is general ledger accounts. Clear? Profit and loss accounts and general ledger accounts. Clear? So among the departmental and specialized branch, basically the branch status is preferred as the books of account. Clear? Basically the branch status is preferred as the books of account of treasury can maintain independently. Clear? As the books of accounts of treasury basically can maintain independently, basically with its own profit and loss and GL accounts. On the other hand, clear? Basically on the other hand, basically what is the benefit of departmental approach or basically department? On the other hand, basically the departmental form basically has the advantage of easier coordination. Clear? Basically on the other hand, the departmental form has the advantage basically of easier coordination with the related departments at head office. Clear? Basically on the other hand, the departmental form has the advantage. Clear? Basically has the advantage of easier coordination basically with the related departments at head office, such as central accounts and planning departments in its line management. Clear? In a line management. Clear? So what is the advantage basically of the departmental? So basically they can do easily tie up basically, or basically we can say that easily do approach. Clear? Basically with the other departments. Clear? So on the other hand, the departmental form basically has advantage of easier coordination. Clear? Because if there is a specialist department, so basically they have also be at head office. Clear? Also at head office. Clear? So basically on the other hand, the departmental form basically has the advantage of easier coordination with the related departments at a head office, such as central accounts and planning departments, basically in a line management. Clear? In a line management. Clear? So what is the function of the treasury? Basically we have to also discuss now. So basically treasury as a specialized branch. Clear? Basically treasury as a specialized branch basically enjoys an additional advantage basically as a branch can act as an authorized dealer. Clear? Basically as a branch can act as an authorized dealer for foreign exchange business. Clear? As a specialized branch. Clear? Basically enjoys an additional advantage basically, that is the branch can act as an authorized dealer basically for foreign exchange business and can participate also. Clear? And can participate also basically in the clearing and settlement system directly. Clear? And can participate also basically in the clearing and settlement systems directly. While the head office department, clear? Basically while the head office department can act only through a branch for its business operation. Clear? Basically while head other department. Clear? Basically while the other department can only act as a branch for its business operations. Clear? Basically for its business operations. Clear? There is some issues going. Wait a minute. While head office. Clear? So let's discuss once again. Treasury as a specialized branch basically enjoys an additional advantage as the branch acts as an authorized dealer basically for the foreign exchange business and can participate basically in clear and can participate basically in clearing and settlement system directly, while head office basically can only act through a branch for its business operation. Clear, basically for its business operation. Clear. So we may therefore conclude that in the context of integrated treasury operations, a treasury branch basically should be preferred form of the organization. Clear. So basically the integrated treasury operation. Clear. This one is the question. So basically in the integrated treasury operation, clear, basically which one is preferred, either as a departmental or basically as a branch, clear, or specialized branch, clear. So basically a specialized branch, clear. So a treasury branch basically should be preferred form of the organization, clear. Now next question is basically who had that. So the treasury is headed, clear. The treasury is headed basically by a senior management person, clear. The treasury is headed basically by a senior management person, either a chief general manager, either a basically general manager, or that is GM, or CTO, that is chief treasury officer, or vice president, or any other official with the similar designation. Treasury being a key activity, clear, basically treasury being a key activity of the bank. So head of treasury basically should be a person, clear. So treasury being a key activity of the bank, so head of treasury basically should be a person who would report direct to the chief financial officer or chief executive officer of the bank, clear, because they have done basically the important work, clear, very important work, clear, regarding the treasury, or basically we can say that the foreign exchange business, clear. So treasury basically being a key activity of the bank, so head of the treasury should be a person basically who would report direct to the chief financial officer or chief executive officer of the bank, clear, chief executive officer of the bank. So basically the treasury is segregated or basically divided into the three main divisions, clear, or segregated basically into the three main divisions. First one is the dealing room, second one is the back office, third one is the mid office, clear. So basically the treasury is segregated basically into three main divisions. First one is the dealing room, that is basically also known as a front office. Second one is basically known as a back office, basically which is to be known by the treasury administration. Third one is a mid office, clear, basically which is known by the risk management, clear, basically which is known by the risk management, clear. So in the examination directly, basically they will ask one question, basically risk management is to be handled by which office, clear, risk management is to be handled by which office. So the correct answer is that is mid office, clear, correct answer is mid office, clear. This question they have already asked in the examination, clear. That's why basically I have specially mentioned here, so that basically you are able to remember, clear. Like in the examination, basically they will ask risk management is to be done by which office, clear, or basically which department. That is to be done by the mid office, clear, that is to be done by the mid office, clear. So now let's discuss one by one regarding all these offices or departments. So first one is the dealing room, clear. So what is the function of dealing room? Let's discuss. So the dealing room, first of all, basically it is headed by the chief dealer, who is in charge of the front office. The dealers working under him basically buy and sell in the markets, clear, basically buy and sell, basically what, that is securities, clear, basically we can say that the dealers working him basically buy and sell in the markets. So each dealer basically specializes in one of the market, clear, basically each dealer basically specializes in one of the market, that is either the foreign exchange or money market or the security market, clear. So basically which of the three markets basically which we have discussed here, first one is the foreign exchange market, second one is the money market, or third one is the securities market, clear. Although in an integrated treasury, clear, basically although in an integrated treasury, basically the dealers are generally familiar with all the markets, clear, basically with all the markets, clear. So basically it depends upon the work, clear, it depends upon the work, clear, basically if there is much workload, so basically they will divide it into the specific departments like foreign exchange market separate one, money market separate one, and securities market separate one, clear. So according to the level of work, basically they will do a formulation of the department according to that, clear, under the dealing room. So the main function is basically dealing, that is purchase and buy. So basically depending upon the size of the operations, clear, basically there may be dealers basically dedicated to major currencies, or dealers basically specializing only in the forward markets or derivatives, clear, depending upon the size of the operation or work. It is also common to have a separate corporate dealer, clear, basically it is also common to have a separate corporate dealer, basically exclusively basically to attend major corporate customers, merchant business, clear, separate corporate dealers, clear, basically exclusively for what, basically to attend a major corporate customers merchant business, clear. In larger banks, treasury basically will also have an asset liability management desk, clear, ALM desk, basically to exclusively basically manage the bank's asset liability management risk, clear. So basically, this is also comes under the dealing room. Clear? Basically, this is also comes under the dealing room. Basically, to manage the asset liability management risk. Clear? To manage the asset liability management risk. Clear? ALM risk. Further, under the securities market, clear, the securities market basically is normally divided into two parts. That one is the primary and the secondary market. Clear, the security market is basically divided into two parts. First one is the primary market and second one is the secondary market. Clear. So the securities dealer deals only with the security market. Clear, the securities dealer basically deals only with the secondary market. Clear, only with the secondary market. Clear. So basically, what is the main difference between the primary market and the secondary market? Can anyone tell basically what is the main difference? Clear? So let's just discuss. Like basically, I think all of you are aware regarding the IPO, LIC IPO. Clear? So basically, that is to be issued in the primary market. Clear? So basically, when the first time basically is any share is listed, that is to be done in the primary market, and after that basically it is to be done available. Already listed share basically is to be buy and sell basically in the secondary market. Clear? So the security market is basically normally divided into two parts, that is primary and secondary market. So the security dealer, clear, the security dealer basically deals only with the secondary market, that is buying and selling of securities already available in the market. Clear, basically in the secondary market. Clear, basically buying and selling of the securities, basically which type of securities, basically which are already available. Clear, that are already available in the market. Clear. So on the behalf of the bank. So on the behalf of the bank, the dealer may also participate. Clear, basically on the behalf of the bank, the dealer may also participate basically in the auction of government securities and the treasury bills. Clear, conducted periodically by the RBI. Clear, on the behalf of the bank. On behalf of the bank, basically the dealer may also participate. Clear, basically in the auction of government securities and treasury bills. Clear, basically the dealer may also participate basically in the auction of government securities and the treasury bills. Clear, basically conducted periodically by the RBI. So treasury basically who are active in equities basically may also have a separate equity dealer who would be dealing basically with equity instruments in the secondary markets. Clear, basically on the basis of the operations. Clear, or on the operation of the basically we can say that work. Clear. So basically they have further divided. Clear, like basically the treasuries basically who are active in equities. Clear, basically may also have a separate equity dealer who would be dealing basically with equity instruments in secondary markets. Clear. So basically what type of question basically they will ask, basically we will also discuss now in the upcoming 1 or 2 slides. Clear, basically from this portion, so that you are able to remember. Clear, basically how to answer the questions. Clear, just they ask very simple questions. Clear, on the basis of that. Now next one, that is primary market. Clear. So primary market, what it constitutes. Clear. So the primary market basically comprises of the new issues of non-government debt paper. Clear. Under the primary market. Clear, basically under the primary market basically comprises of new issues basically of non-government paper, that is basically commonly referred to as no SLR securities. Clear, basically commonly referred to as basically non-SLR securities. Clear, like basically if the bank is investing in that, they are not covering under the statutory liquidity ratio. Clear, non-SLR securities. Clear, basically issued by corporates. Clear, basically issued by corporates, mostly placed privately basically with the qualified institutional investors. Clear, mostly placed privately basically with the qualified institutional investors. Clear. So the primary market basically comprises of new issues of the non-government debt paper. Clear, basically commonly referred as non-SLR securities. Clear, that are issued by the corporates. Clear, basically that are issued by the corporates. Clear. So the primary market basically issues are subscribed by the investment department. Clear, basically the primary market issues basically are subscribed by the investment department, basically generally situated outside the dealing room. Clear, but as the part of the treasury. Clear. So basically the primary department issues. Clear, the primary market issues basically are subscribed by the investment department. Clear, it is not the part of the dealing room. Clear, please remember that. Clear, investment department, it is not the part of the dealing room. Clear, but it is part of the treasury. Clear, basically, but it is part of the treasury. Clear. So now let's discuss a little bit regarding the investment department. So basically investment department, as basically we have already discussed. Clear, basically will deal with the primary issues. Clear, investment department basically, as basically we have already discussed, it is deal with the primary issues. Clear. So basically whenever a suitable offer is received. Clear, basically whenever a suitable offer is received, the department basically would put up an investment proposal and obtain approval basically at the appropriate level. Clear? So basically investment department basically will deal with the primary issues. So basically whenever a suitable offer is received, the department would put up an investment proposal and obtain approval at the appropriate level. Clear? Basically, and obtain approval at the appropriate level. So what is the important question? What is the minimum marketable investment? Clear? So the minimum marketable investment basically being rupees 5 crore. Clear? The minimum marketable investment basically being rupees 5 crore, and the investment proposal. Clear? And further, the investment proposal basically are scrutinized closely and are generally considered. Clear? The investment proposal basically are scrutinized closely and are generally considered. Clear? Basically, and are generally considered by an investment committee. Clear? Basically, and are generally considered basically by an investment committee before the sanction is obtained at appropriate level. Clear? Basically, they have to put it. Clear? Basically, and are generally considered basically by an investment committee. Clear? By an investment committee before the sanction is obtained at an appropriate level. Clear? So that is basically, just you have to remember that basically minimum marketable investment basically by the investment department, which is not the part of the dealing room, but the part of the treasury, that is rupees 5 crore. Clear? That is rupees 5 crore. Clear? So basically this is because primary issues. Clear? Basically primary issue needs appraisal of credit. Clear? Basically whether that function well or not. Clear? Basically primary issue basically needs appraisal of credit risk, examination of issue terms, and wherever so stipulated. Clear? Documentation basically for the secured debt paper basically through the trustee. Clear? So basically often banks require inputs basically from the market research basically for which they may have either a research department or may collect it basically from the published material. Clear? Basically from the published material, like you will see that. Clear? Just for an example purpose, not related to that, basically like LIC IPO. So many of you have subscribed that and many of you have not subscribed that. Clear? Basically for getting, or basically for the, basically we can say that basically for the subscription of an IPO. Clear? You will check out. Clear? Basically whether the IPO basically when it will be listed. Clear? Basically whether it will be in the upward or the downward. Clear? Basically like basically we can say that if the share is of rupees 900. Clear? So when the share basically will be lifted, it will become 1100 or it will become 700. Clear? So basically you have to check all the properties. Clear? Basically whether the firm it is in profit and all the different ratios of the company is clear, and basic structure of the company. Clear? So basically all the things basically we consider appraisal of credit risk. Clear? Because under the primary risk, basically under the primary market. Clear? Basically issues or basically primary issues basically need appraisal of the credit risk. Clear? So basically that is to be done by the investment department. Clear? That is to be done by the investment department. Clear? So basically this is overall discussion of the dealing room. Clear? Basically this is overall discussion of the dealing room, and under that basically there are three markets: foreign exchange market, money market, and the securities market. Clear? So let's discuss one question, and I request to all of you, please answer this question. So basically a treasury department basically is generally organized as three distinct units. So basically in this, the dealing room function is clear. Basically in this, basically the dealing room is function is basically verification of buy and sell orders, compliance with the regulatory norms, dealing basically management information system MIS, or buying and selling of the securities market. Clear? Or buying and selling of the securities market. Clear? So what is the answer? Clear? Basically what is the function of the dealing room? Clear? Verification of buying and sell orders, compliance with the regulatory norms, dealing MIS, that is management information system, or fourth one is this basically buying and selling of securities market. Clear? Basically buying and selling of securities market. Clear? So the correct answer is basically option number D. Clear? Basically we have already discussed. Clear? That is buying and selling of securities market. Clear? So please participate basically whenever question will be asked. Clear? Only after that basically you are able to understand. Clear? Otherwise basically you will not able to find out. Clear? So please participate. Even if you are wrong, then I will tell you basically where you will face issue. Clear? So this one is the answer here. Now move to the next one, that is second one, that is back office. Clear? That is back office. Clear? So the back office basically is responsible for the verification and settlement of the deals concluded by the dealers. Clear? So basically this function, verification, is done by the back office. This is done by the dealing room or front office. Clear. This is run by the dealing room. Clear. So the back office. Clear. The back office basically is responsible for the verification and settlement of the deals basically concluded by the dealers. Clear. So that basically deals. Wait a minute. So the deals are verified. Clear. Basically the deals are verified basically on the basis of deal slips. Clear. Basically the deals are verified, prepared by the dealers, and also from the confirmation received basically from the counterparties. Clear. Basically, and also from the confirmation received basically from the counterparties. Clear. So the back office basically confirms the deal independently. Clear. The back office basically confirms the deal independently basically with the counterparty, that is basically banks and other institutions, over phone, and verifies the authenticity clear, basically genuineness of the confirmation document. Clear. So the back office basically generally confirms the deals independently with the counterparty, that is basically either with the banks and other institutions over the phone, and verifies the authenticity of the confirmation document. Clear. That is basically either they are to be genuine or not. Clear. And verifies the basically authenticity of the confirmation document. Further, the back office. Clear. The back office basically takes care of all the related bookkeeping and submission of periodically returns to the RBI. Clear. So basically, regarding the submission of returns to RBI, basically this is also done by the back office. Clear. So the back office basically takes care of all the related bookkeeping and submission of periodically returns to the RBI. Clear. So the back office basically also maintains nostro accounts. The back office basically also maintains nostro account, that is foreign currency accounts with the correspondent banks. Clear. Basically, which we have already discussed under the chapter number 3. Clear. So the back office basically also maintains nostro account, that is foreign currency accounts basically with the correspondent banks. Next one basically funding and security accounts basically with the RBI, and the demat account. Clear. Basically, and the demat account basically with the depository participants DP, and ensure that the adequate margin money basically is held with the clearing corporation of India basically for the rupee and dollar settlements. Clear. Basically for the rupee and dollar settlements. Clear. So basically all these functions. Clear. Basically all these function is to be done by the back office. Clear. First one, that is maintenance of the nostro accounts. Second one is basically funding and security accounts basically with the RBI, and the demat account basically. Third one, that is demat account basically with the depository participants, and fourth one basically to also ensure that basically adequate margin basically money is held with the clearing corporation of India, that is CCIL. Clear. Basically for rupee and dollar settlement. Clear. Basically for rupee and dollar settlements. Clear. So CCIL. Clear. Basically, so this one basically is also another question. Basically, settlement guarantee fund is to be maintained by. Clear. CCIL. Clear. Basically maintains settlement guarantee fund by collecting the margin from the constituents. Clear. Basically by collecting the margin basically from the constituents in order to avoid payment failures by the banks. Clear. Basically in order to avoid payment failures by the banks. Clear. So here basically CCIL basically maintains settlement guarantee fund. Clear. Basically CCIL basically maintains settlement guarantee fund by collecting the margin. Clear. Basically by collecting the margin from the constituents. Clear. By collecting the margin from the constituents basically in order to avoid payment failures by the bank. Clear. Basically in order to avoid payment failures by the banks. So the mid of next one. Clear. Third one, that is middle office. Clear. Basically we have already discussed regarding the dealing room, back office, and third one, that is the mid office. Clear. Dealing room, it is basically also known as. Clear. Basically I will tell you basically here, this is also known as the front office. Clear. This is also known as the front office. Clear. Just remember, which we have already discussed. Clear. That is front office, back office, mid office. Now basically we will discuss regarding the third one, that is middle office or mid office. Clear. Very, very important. And that basically we have to risk measurement. Clear. So the mid office basically is created exclusively basically to provide information to the management, that is MIS. Clear. So basically here one question, that is here basically we will discuss that question, that is dealing MIS, that is the function of the mid office or middle office. Clear. So please go through the questions very carefully. Clear. All the options are related to the different offices. So the as per the RBI guidelines. Clear. Basically as per the RBI guidelines, I think this one. Clear. The mid office basically is created exclusively to provide information to the management and to implement risk management system. Very, very important. That is, and to implement, that is the risk management systems. Clear. So mid office basically monitors exposure limits, clear, basically mid office monitors basically exposure limits and stop loss limits of treasury, clear. So mid office basically monitors exposure limits and stop loss limits of the treasury and reports to the management on key parameters of performance, clear, and reports to the management, clear, and reports to the management basically on key parameters of the performance. Under that, basically transfer pricing mechanism basically may also be implemented through the mid office, clear. Important question, basically transfer pricing mechanism basically is implemented basically under which office, clear. So transfer pricing mechanism basically is also may also be implemented basically through the mid office, clear. In smaller banks, mid office may also function as the ALM support group, as the balance sheet risk management, clear, is closely connected to the treasury risk management, clear, as the balance sheet basically risk management is closely connected to the treasury risk management, clear. So just you have to remember that basically mid office, clear, basically it is exclusively created to provide information to the management and to implement the risk management system, clear, and to implement the risk management system. Mid office basically also monitors exposure limits, clear, exposure limits and stop loss limits of the treasury and reports to the management, clear, and further basically reports to the management basically on the key parameters of performance, clear, and reports to the management basically on key parameters of the performance. Transfer pricing mechanism basically may also be implemented through the mid office, clear, basically may also be implemented through the mid office. So as per the RBI guidelines, clear, basically as per the RBI guidelines, basically the mid office basically should comprise of experts in market risk management, economists, statisticians, and general bankers, and may be functionally placed directly under the ALCO, clear, basically, and may functionally placed basically directly under the ALCO, that is Asset Liability Committee, clear, that is Asset Liability Committee, clear. So the mid office basically should also be separated from the Treasury Department and should not be involved in the day-to-day management of the treasury, clear. It is also separated from the Treasury Department, clear. So the mid office basically should apprise the top management or the ALCO or the treasury about adherence basically to the prudential or risk parameters, clear, that is compliance of the risk norms, clear, compliance, clear. So the mid office basically should apprise the top management, clear, basically that is higher authorities basically is present under that ALCO or treasury basically about adherence to the prudential or risk parameters, and also aggregate the total market risk exposure basically assumed by the bank at any point of time, clear, and also aggregate the basically total market risk exposure, clear, and also aggregate the basically total market risk exposures assumed by the bank, clear, that is basically assumed by the bank basically at any point of time, clear, assumed by the bank basically at any point of time, clear. So because of this peculiar nature, clear, of work attached with the mid office in most of the banks, clear, the mid office basically, even though resides basically in the treasury, clear, even it is basically part of the treasury, basically it reports directly to the head of the risk management department, clear, it directly reports basically to the head of the risk management department of the bank, so as to ensure basically compliance treasury functions objectively, clear, basically as to ensure compliance basically of the treasury functions objectively, clear, basically we can say that mainly basically we can say that it is part of the treasury, clear, basically, but in some banks, clear, basically they will form a separate department for that also, clear, and basically they have directly reporting to the basically we can say that head of the risk measurement department of the bank, clear, or head of risk management department, clear. So basically they have to directly report basically to the head of the risk management department, clear, of the organization, clear, of the organization, clear. So basically that are brief discussion of all the three offices, that is front office, back office, and mid office, clear. Now let's discuss one question. So in the treasury department, risk management is to be handled by, clear. So basically in the treasury department, basically risk management is to be handled by, clear. This one is the question asked already in the examination, clear. So in the treasury department, basically risk management is to be handled by the front office, dealing room, middle office, or mid office, or back office, clear. So the correct answer here is to be middle office, clear. The correct answer here is to be middle office, clear. This one is the correct answer, clear. So basically these types of question basically they will ask from these topics, clear. Very easy topic, just basically you have to understand basically what they want to say that, clear, basically what they want to say that, clear. Now basically we will move towards the back that question, clear. So basically a treasury of department is generally organized basically as a 3 distinct units, clear. So basically in this, the dealing room basically function is basically answer is D, clear. If the question is dealing room, please go through dealing room, answer is D. If they ask, basically question is related to the back office. If the question is related to the back office, so what is the answer in this question? If the question is related to the back office, then what is the answer? So back office basically it deals with the verification of buy and sell orders. Clear? Verification of buy and sell order, that is answer A. And if this question, clear, in the place of dealing room, clear, if in the this question, if the place of the dealing room, that is mid office, clear, that is mid office or middle office. So the answer is basically compliance with the regulatory norms and dealing MIS. Clear? So the answer is B or C. Clear? The answer is B or C. Clear? So basically a single question will be framed in any way. Clear? Basically will be framed in any way. Clear? So basically you have to remember, clear, you have to remember just these points, and I request all of you please go through the video at least 2 times so that you are able to remember all these points. Clear? So that you are able to remember all these points. Clear? So in this session basically we have to discuss up to this much point. Just remember basically that treasury is basically divided into 3 main divisions. Dealing room, that is basically known as front office. Treasury administration, that is basically also known as back office. Risk management, basically it is also known as mid office. Clear? Mid office. Clear? So thanks to all of you for attending this session.